Okay, let's talk about applying for jobs. Half of you are going to love this lesson because it's coming up and it's really stressful and you're unsure what to do. The other half of you have jobs lined up, so you're thinking this lesson is going to be useless, but be patient and understand that applying for a job is some of the most intense style of consulting. Normal consulting, you say, here's what I've learned, let me present this, give me an hour and I'll talk about it. Job applications, it's like, I want your entire life in 5 minutes, which is super intense. You would never do that. Just like I would never want to go back on the dating scene because, ooh, that's some intensity. So, when do you apply for jobs? Well, academic positions, which most of you are not interested in academic positions, but I was. You start clear in September, you're pulling stuff together in November, December, you're putting in applications and interviews, January, it drags out till February, March, you finally get an application. If you're interested in the job market for industry, it's drastically different. Like, things happen way faster. My brother said at his company, they were taking 3 to 4 weeks from first interview to giving an offer, and they said that was way too long. So they cut out some of the people that needed to talk to so that it could only be 2 weeks, and they still feel like that's too long, but that was as fast as they could make things happen. So as you look at this, you'll notice that a lot of students will start applying for things early in the semester. If you're lucky, that's great, something comes through, but there's a time where you worry that you're not going to get any options and it's really stressful. I've heard a lot of students 1st of May and they're graduating like a week later. I don't have any job offer. What do I do? Hang in there, keep going. And then a week later, they're like, oh yeah, I already got a job offer. So don't stress out if you're having a hard time and you haven't seemed to have found anything quite yet. How do you find jobs in the first place? Well, higher ed jobs, for example, was important to me. This is another higher ed jobs because I was interested in academia. Sometimes you can find good positions that aren't necessarily teaching if that's not what you're into. LinkedIn makes connections, ASAMS, there's lots of other places. Honestly, one of the best is just Googling and searching for the kinds of titles or descriptions that you're interested in. For example, statistician, data analyst, data scientist, those kind of things. There's these big companies like Monster. I've not had great luck with those. Any place where you have to pay money for the privilege of seeing job positions, I just have not had great luck with those. And every semester I tell students, if you have, let me know, and no one has. So that's tough. But searching for jobs that want to hire a good professional will try to put their stuff in the most common places, which is why these big sites that cater specifically to statisticians work well. And it shouldn't be too hard to find it on Google if you're looking for it. So try to think, okay, what places might I want to apply for? And figure out what kind of searches pull those up, and they'll pull up other things as well. It is sadly true that if you know someone, it's a lot easier to get into a company. So find connections that you have. Sadly, there is scamming that does happen with some of these things. Scammers love to target people who are desperate or having a hard time, and when you're applying for a job, it's a scary time, so you actually become a little more vulnerable. Make sure that you're not giving out too much personal information if you don't know about the company or it's not a legit place. I avoid places that talk about open pools of candidates. They're just getting all sorts of information. They may not actually have a job opening. It's going to take some work. You're going to have to be searching places, and it's going to take time, and you're going to need patience, and it's stressful and hard, but this is part of what it takes to get into the job market. So keep it up and keep working. When you're looking for a position, I find it very helpful to keep a spreadsheet of information. I'll zoom in so you can see it. It probably looks a little fuzzy on the video, but I kept track of the location, and for me, it was mostly schools. There were some businesses as well, what the position was called, the link so that I could go back and find it again later, the deadline. Those are the sorts of things that are hard to keep track of. And I had this nice color coding, and I did keep jobs that either were dead or I figured out it was a scam or I didn't want it because it was impressive to see this big list of places that I have applied to. And you need to find things that can help encourage you emotionally to not give up. Sometimes a job will list the same position in the same company, with two different job descriptions on two different websites. So I sorted them by city. That made it a little easier to find the duplicates. Getting the job title wrong can be a big deal. And before you work at the company, you probably don't realize that those job titles mean a lot and that using it wrong is a problem. So keep track of what the job title is called. Make sure that you refer to it as that. The date is important because you're going to say, okay, which job application is coming up next? Oh yeah, I've got to hit this one. And keep really good notes about everything that job description said they were looking for. You're going to need those keywords later, and it's important that you don't miss one or talk about it in the wrong way. Now, you might have this ideal job that you are imagining in your head, and you absolutely should apply to jobs like that. But you might want to expand your circle a little bit, apply to some jobs that maybe aren't exactly what you're looking for, and maybe even some jobs that you don't want, but it's better than not having a job, right? You need backup plans. As a master's student, backup plans can include, going on for a PhD, postdoc. Some people just delay graduation. Something that's entry level maybe isn't as much as you were hoping for, but it can move into the type of position that you want. And look, it's 2021, so the job market has been weird for the past year. I have seen people talking about what it's supposed to be like, and there's conflicting reports. Some people believe the businesses have been waiting through the pandemic, and now that it's finally starting to thaw, they're going to want to hire a bunch. But there's also a bunch of people who wanted jobs and couldn't get it during the pandemic, so they're going to be flooding in. One thing a lot of people agree on is the you have to have this desk in the office idea is going away. It's now more common to work at home, and statisticians, that absolutely works that you could work from home. So the job market, a little bit in flux. It might be better, it might be worse. It's going to require a lot of work, a lot of patience, and keep an open mind about the types of positions that could be open and apply to a wide range that could apply for you. I wanted to say all that before we get to this slide because there's things that make it tougher, like economic struggles. Well, check. Foreign students can have a little bit harder time. I'm sorry, I don't know if that's fair, but that's kind of the reality of it. One bad thing and a bad recommendation, we'll talk about recommendations later, how to make sure you've got a good recommendation. Timing matters. If there's something wrong on your application, a spelling error can be seen, and maybe it's like not a big deal, but they'll take it as a big deal. Not completing the application is by far the biggest way to make sure that your application goes in the trash. But economic improvement after struggles, are we there? Maybe, right? We talked about difficulty with English, but if you're a diverse demographic, that actually looks good. Businesses want to hire diversity for several reasons, especially in the US, that's a big deal. So if you can leverage, hey, I've got the good English skills and I'm a foreign person, that actually can play in your favor. Closely matching the description. We're going to talk about some of these in more detail. We talked about having somebody connected to the job. Yeah, that's a big deal. And experience or postdoc or the sorts of things that a master's student has an easier time saying, I'm more than just a student. I've done other things as well. How many applications? For me, there were, hundreds that I looked at. A bunch of them, these black ones, I said, these ones I'm not even going to apply to. I looked into them and I shouldn't have. There's a whole bunch that I applied to and they never responded. It feels rude. Like, I went through the work to apply. Are you at least going to just tell me that you're rejecting me? No, not always. Some applications that I saw even said, due to the volume of applicants, we will not be informing candidates who are not moving forward. You lazy people, tell me. It bugs me, but you know what? That's okay. There were some that I applied to, and within minutes or a day, they replied, you're not a good fit. Thanks. Then some of them got a phone interview, and then it leads to an on-site interview, and then a few offers. So I tell people 30, that's under normal circumstances. Because of the pandemic, we might need to stretch that to say you should apply to 60 different places if you're hoping to get a couple of offers. Now, one more thing about looking at the applications, timing sometimes implies things. I had some jobs that opened late and were open for a very small amount of time, and I applied to them and they replied back with, great, we'd like to have an interview right away. And I'm like, ooh, this is moving super fast. Why? Because they had somebody else they already wanted to hire, and this was just hoops they had to jump through legally so that they weren't, hiring their friend, and I never really had a chance at the job. So, you can pause the video and look at these. Here's things about when the job is open and what that might indicate. Not always, but these might lead some of the questions that you're going to think about when you go to apply for the job, or help you to gauge which jobs seem like they have the best chance, and as such, you'll pour in more time and energy into applying for those. So just some thoughts to think about. All right, next we'll talk about actually filling out the application.